What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an alright day today. We do have Bitcoin down almost 11% at the time of making this video. Lots of blood in the markets today. Bitcoin fell 15% yesterday, 20% from the top. We got all the way down to $8,088. Currently, we sort of have had a little bit of a bounce back, but the question is, are we out of the woods yet? Are we looking for more of a dump? Well, I do want to mention the fact that we have had a little bit of a revisit from our good old buddy Bart Simpson. If you don't know who he is, well, you're going to get used to it. Having a look right here, yesterday I was talking about the fact that we did have a lot of shorts sort of overtaking the longs, which means that the markets were looking a little bit kind of negative as far as the Bitcoin price. Also, the fact that yesterday I spoke about the fear and greed index was up to 56, and the last time that we had the fear and greed that high, well, we basically had a massive dump, and lo and behold, it was followed by the dump. So I do have a few things I need to go over today. I want to discuss, is the halving hype over? Are we out of the woods? Are we looking for more of a Bitcoin dump? And I also want to explain exactly what happened and why it happened. So if you're new to crypto, you're going to want to stick around to the end of the video today, and I really mean it. At the end, we're going to go into like a 2-minute explainer of why this crash potentially happened. And I do think it's really good for you guys if you're new. And also keep in mind, yesterday I had put out a video saying that we were looking for a dump, and my video got deleted by YouTube. In fact, I got this is actually my inbox. You can see right here, it says, your video has been removed from YouTube. This was yesterday at around 7:20 p.m., literally right as the dump was about to happen, which was crazy. It said that my video basically went against community guidelines, so I ended up uploading another video, and then guess what? This morning, they put the video back. So this is absolutely crazy, guys. So I need to ask one favor of you super quick. I basically set up this backup account, okay? It's called Crypto Zombie Undead. Basically, when if YouTube's trying to bury me, well, I'm the zombie and I'm undead. So anyway, all jokes aside, please check this out. You can subscribe over on the main channel. So basically, if YouTube tries to take any of my videos down, this will be a backup account, and I'll instantly put the video back up so you guys can stay in the loop. Basically, all you got to do is just go over to my homepage right here. Just scroll over to where it says backup channel and literally just click subscribe. You can also do it right here. If you go to channels, you can just click that. Or if you're on your mobile device, you just scroll over on the top when you're on my channel. Obviously, make sure that you are having the bell notification turned on. Just click it and then make sure you click all. But then basically, you just click over to channels. You'll see it pop right up, and then click subscribe. That's literally all you have to do. And I promise you, it won't be invasive. I'll never use this channel unless it's an emergency, but if you're not subscribed to that, you might miss out on some very important updates, like the big dump that happened yesterday that I mentioned literally 8 hours before the dump. But that being said, guys, that's it. That's it for me today. Thank you so much again. If you're not subscribed, definitely get subscribed. And without further ado, and today is the last day for the Ledger Nano S. If you want to drop a comment, we are going to give that away on Monday. But let's dive into the charts because we have the Bitcoin halving coming up in about a day. So let's talk about what is going on. Well, we have some good news and we have some bad news. I guess I'll start with the bad news first. So the bad news is basically the fact that we on the weekly chart are now back below this resistance level. So you can see we've tried to wick back above it a few times in the past, but currently we are sitting below this level. So basically this just means that Bitcoin, even as great as the price action has been, we're basically just continuing in a downtrend and we are no longer above the significant resistance level. Now, having a look right here, I do want to point out the fact that we did have a beautiful touch right here at the bottom of the ascending channel, and we did get bought back up very quick. So when the price fell all the way down, we did instantly get bought back up. So that is good. That shows that, there was a lot of confidence in buying back the price. However, we did have a very similar chart, same thing with the ascending channel with the heart line, and that is when we had our major over 50% dump that we had before. Now, keep in mind that obviously had a lot to do with the virus, with everything going on, but I just want to point out that these are looking very similar, so just be careful. Now, in yesterday's video, I did speak about how Bitcoin does have these 20%, 30% crashes, and I mean, even if we go basically from where we were at the high right here, down to where we dumped, Bitcoin fell 19.5, almost 20%. So this is very common for Bitcoin. Big difference being this was basically taken from the bull run, whereas we've been in a downtrend ever since the 20K level, right? So the other little bit of sort of keep your eye on it negative news is that we are literally hugging right here on the 50-day moving average. So, yeah, obviously if we fall below that, the next support on the weekly is around the 100, which is around the $7,000 level. Now, I just want to point out the fact that, like Jack Purdy, he's over at Masari, he did speak about this crash from a data perspective, and he said the last 3 times Bitcoin went past $10,000, it went back under within 90 days. And we can see right here that there always is a lot of resistance in this blue zone. Bitcoin gets in here, it dumps, it gets up here, it dumps, we test it, we dump, and even back here, when we got all the way up to $14,000, within a few days, it had dumped back, back below the levels again. So this is a very, very, very critical level for Bitcoin. In fact, I don't have the full data up here, but if you even zoom out to the previous run up back in the bull market of 2017, the levels were just as critical back then as well. The other thing that I want to point out is that we are still looking green on the monthly candle, okay? This month opened at around $7,894. However, we do have a huge wick to the upside, which is signaling massive selling pressure. Keep in mind, we have not had two solid monthly candles basically since we started back in February of 2019 before we had the run up. So, we really would like to see another green candle month. We do have a lot of days left for this month, but we will have to see what happens with that. Now, I do have one insanely bearish prediction I just want to point out from Henrik Zedberg. Now, he says Bitcoin may have topped in the smaller wave B of Y. Essentially, he's using this type of hyperwave analysis. And basically he's calling for a target of about a $1,760 Bitcoin. You guys didn't hear me stutter. He thinks that if we follow this, we could have a trajectory of Bitcoin coming down to about $1,786. Now, he does say that there is a silver lining to that, and that's looking at the potential bounce off of those lows. The major triangle is a continuation pattern, so even if Bitcoin was to go all the way down to $1,760, he says that is not evidence for Bitcoin's demise. The upsize potential is a minimum of $34,000, likely $54,000, and then he also says $94,000 is his big target for Bitcoin. So we're still looking at a $94,000 Bitcoin potentially, but he says there may be a potential for a big dip. Let me know if you actually think we're going to go down to that $1,700 whatever level that he's calling. That would be pretty crazy. But now that we've talked about the bad news, let's talk about the good news, okay? And before we do, I just want to give you a quick reminder again, in case you didn't, definitely go get subscribed to the Crypto Zombie Undead Backup channel, just in case this video gets deleted, or, if my channel gets deleted. We saw some channels get deleted as well. But do continue to watch the video because I have something very important at the very end. So the good news is that we have respected this uptrend, right? So you can see every time Bitcoin dumps, from right here, we put in a higher low, we put in a higher low, we put in higher lows, and we've put in another higher low. So this is basically showing that Bitcoin's trend is still continuing to the upside. The other good news I want to talk about is that the 200 daily moving average, which is considered pretty much one of the most significant moving averages in really any market. Most people do consider whether or not you're in a bull or a bear to be the 200 daily. And we literally not only wicked perfectly off of that, but also we perfectly wicked off of the 100 daily moving average as well. And you can see technically we are still going on this uptrend, with obviously the $9,500 to $10,000 levels still being some of the major resistance. The other good thing I want to talk about is if we actually zoom in, if we have a look at the stock to flow ratio, which basically shows about where Bitcoin's average price should be, and we zoom into right here, you could basically see that currently where Bitcoin is supposed to be right now is roughly at around $8,641, roughly if we look at the 365-day stock to flow ratio. And if we have a look at where Bitcoin is right now, $8,693. So guys, despite all of this crazy madness, Bitcoin is actually exactly where we're supposed to be, almost down to the exact dollar amount on the stock to flow Bitcoin ratio. So far, things are basically looking like how they should be. On the plus side, we do have a CME futures gap all the way up at $10,030. Are we going to actually close that gap? That's a pretty big gap from the level that we're at right now. Bitcoin would have to pump all the way up to $10,030 pretty much within the next 24 hours. Is that going to happen? Maybe, maybe not, probably not. But it is hope because most of the time, in fact, all the time, we do close the CME Bitcoin futures gap. So that tells me that at some point, might not be tomorrow, but we probably will most likely close that $10,030 level for Bitcoin. But you could see even on the altcoin chart that we spoke about yesterday, the altcoins were not able to get above this significant $86 billion level. We were talking about a potential altcoin breakout. Bitcoin dumped, altcoins dumped with it, and we also had that dump. Now, we do have some extreme Bitcoin bears. Nouriel Roubini, Dr. Doom, you may know him. He says Bitcoin crashes by 15% in 7 minutes on no news, a rigged, totally manipulated, whales-controlled market where most transactions, 90% volumes, are false as exchanges pretend to have liquidity. They don't have. Massive pump and dump spoofing, front-running, wash trading, total scam. So that's it, guys. Throw in the towel, sell all your Bitcoin, wave the white flag. We're giving up. Let's be honest. No, that's not what's going on, guys. We do have the halving coming up. The question is the halving hype dead? Well, let's talk about why we actually potentially had the dump. Well, we did have buy the rumor, sell the news. That's a possibility, right, as well. I also want to talk about the fact that according to Skew data, the Bitcoin put to call ratio was rising rapidly. Now, if you don't know the difference, essentially these are Bitcoin options, and a put is essentially when you think the price is going to go lower, and a call is essentially when you think the price is going to go higher. So the lower we are to this 0.02 level, the better. And you can see right here, yesterday, the 4 largest contract increases in open interests were puts, which means that the 4 biggest calls were calling for Bitcoin to go lower. We also had a lot of pressure over on futures. We had major sell walls at around $10,000 over on Binance. And I want to play this video for you right now. This is from Alameda Research, and this is from Romano. Full credit, by the way. I'll drop a link over on Twitter. This is obviously not my research, but I want you guys to watch this video. It's about 2 minutes and 16 seconds, and this really goes to explain why Bitcoin has these major moves, because it is, somewhat of still a very illiquid market, and maybe this will help you to understand exactly why Bitcoin probably had the move yesterday, but does have these types of moves, frequently. So without further ado, let's check out the video and then we'll talk about it.
Hi, my name is Sam Bankman-Fried. I'm the CEO of Alameda Research. We're a quant trading firm and liquidity provider in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Today I'd like to talk about one thing that's been a significant cause of the recent market downturns, and that's liquidations. When an account with a large exposure to Bitcoin, for instance, an account that had bought $100 million of Bitcoin on 10x leverage and then watched markets go down 5%, when that account is in danger of going bankrupt, all the assets need to be sold off before it actually does go under. The closer that account was to bankruptcy at the beginning of this process, the more desperately you need to sell off its assets. In crypto, often these liquidations don't even start until the account is only 1% away from going under, which means that all of its assets need to be sold off almost immediately. This can have really large impact. In fact, enough that it often drives the price of Bitcoin down enough that even more accounts are in danger of going bankrupt and need to get liquidated. This can cause a sort of chain reaction, where each series of liquidations moves markets down enough that another set of accounts needs to get liquidated. This domino effect can in turn drive the market down as much as 30% in a single day, causing this cascading set of liquidity failures, like what happened with banks in the 2008 financial crash. Now, if Apple stock were to move down 30% due to a series of liquidations, a bunch of people would come in and buy it back up, because fundamentally, that stock is still tied to the profits of the same company as before, and now you can get it at a huge discount. With Bitcoin, on the other hand, Bitcoin is itself the product, and so if it goes down 30%, even if it's just because of a series of liquidations, there's not really any reason it has to recover, meaning that the impact of liquidations in cryptocurrency is a lot more permanent than in traditional equity markets. We need to solve these problems, and in order to do that, we need to have more efficient margin calls and more liquidity provided on these contracts in the first place.
And you could see yesterday, right here, massive liquidations as far as Bitcoin longs. We had 247 million, and we actually even had 808,000 for the shorts as well. So this has a lot to do with why these markets move so crazy. This is actually why, trading over on these platforms can be very rewarding, but obviously can be extremely risky and not recommended for beginners. But also it does affect the markets as well. And once again, I just wanted to point out, guys, that is exactly why I told you yesterday that Bitcoin was probably having a little bit of a top, okay? You cannot go up forever. It's not healthy for markets to go up forever. You have to have those pullbacks. So let me know, are you full-on Bitcoin bear now? Are you thinking that's it? Are you giving up? Are we going down to 1,700 or whatever the hell that crazy prediction was? Let me know. And once again, before we go, guys, please, I know I've said this 3 times, but I want to stress it. For example, yesterday when I had a video talking about the fact that Bitcoin could crash, literally like an hour before the crash, all of a sudden the YouTube video disappears and then nobody gets that information. That's pretty valuable information, I would say. So definitely get subscribed to my bonus secondary channel, my backup channel. I showed you guys how to do that. I'll leave a link in the description as well if you guys want. You can just go down and click it. And that being said, guys, thank you so much again for coming back to the channel. If you haven't got subscribed to my regular channel, do consider that. And so it looks like now I have 2 videos, basically the same video from yesterday, because YouTube decided randomly this morning to reverse their claims and put the video back up. I don't know what's going on, but if you guys want to win a Ledger Nano S, I am giving one away tomorrow. Drop a comment below. That's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.